That brings us to the end of the course. We covered the exam objectives for the 70697 Configuring Windows Devices exam. Let's recap. In Lesson 1, you learned about supporting Microsoft Store and Cloud apps. This lesson covered managing apps with Microsoft Office 365, managing Microsoft Store apps, and managing apps with Microsoft Intune. In Lesson 2, you covered authentication options, how to manage workgroups and domains, and implementing accounts. These two lessons together provide coverage for the exam OD Manage Identity. Lesson 3 described how to configure and migrate user data, how to manage power settings, configure mobility options, and configuring security options for mobile devices. Lesson 10 was focused on Hyper-V, and these two lessons provided the coverage of exam OD planned desktop and device deployment. In Lesson 4, you looked at networking, including configuring both IP4 and IP6, configuring name resolution, connecting to a network, managing Wi-Fi, and Windows Firewall. This lesson covers exam OD Configure Networking. Lesson 5 introduced Microsoft 365 and described support options for mobile devices, how to deploy device updates with Intune, how to manage devices with Microsoft 365, showed you how to implement work folders, and how to implement and configure information protection on mobile devices. This is the content required to address exam OD, plan and implement a Microsoft 365 solution. Lesson 6 covered data storage, while in Lesson 7 we explored managing shared resources, file and folder permissions, OneDrive storage options, and implementing home groups. These two lessons cover exam OD, manage data access and protection. In Lesson 8, you learned about implementing remote connections with remote desktop, broadband tethering, and VPNs. Lesson 8 provides the coverage of content for exam OD, manage remote access. Lesson 9 explores additional application options covering remote app apps, desktop apps, and both UEV and AppV. This lesson provides the content for exam OD, manage apps. Lesson 11, the last lesson of the course, covers performing file recovery, configuring and performing system recovery, and how to manage updates. You'll find this addresses the content needed for exam OD, manage updates and recovery. What next? Well, I'd recommend you put into practice what you've learned during the course and work with Windows 10. Build yourself a test lab based around virtual machines and work through some of the demonstrations. You'll need a domain controller and 2 Windows 10 virtual machines, one of which is in a workgroup, the other of which is part of an Active Directory domain. That environment should enable you to perform the tasks you've seen during the course. I'd like to thank you for your participation in this course and to wish you the best of luck, either in the exam or in your application of this knowledge at your workplace. If you want to discuss anything about the course, or you want to talk to me about Windows 10 device issues, please feel free to contact me at LinkedIn.